Now what we want to do is add code to our application that's going to display the values instead of the keys. As you saw in the previous tutorial, in the table view, what we saw were the date and the time. What we want to do is actually swap that. Those would be the keys. What we want to do is swap the view so that we're showing the data, which would be items on our grocery list. So what we want to do is head over to masterviewcontroller.m. And when you take a look at this file, you'll note that our mutable array, remember what we said, what was it back at the first or maybe second video? Mutable means it can change. Our array named objects is the one that's holding all of these grocery items that we want to add to our list. And what we want to do is head down and find cell for row at index path. So it's probably going to be down toward the bottom. Here it is. And we're going to work with this method for now. And what we're going to do is head right over here, and we're going to use this description as a key. So we're going to leave this code, but we're going to add to it a little bit. We're going to first reference our grocery data object and then get all lists. And we're going to add the object for the key and the object for the key is going to be that description. And don't forget to match up your square brackets. And what changing this line of text or code does is makes it to where when we run the simulator, run the app, the name of the grocery item will show up now instead of that year, date, time key. So the next thing we want to do is work on the organization of these grocery items on our list. Now I'm going to decide to put the newest item on the top. You can decide whatever order you would like for whatever kind of a list you're creating. So I'm going to look for the viewDidLoad method. There it is. And what I want to do is write a method just below that guy. And I'll go ahead and it's going to return void, and we'll name it makeObjects. And I'm going to go down to insert new object. And I'm going to delete this conditional. And I'm going to add a reference to self makeObjects. And now I can head back up and instantiate the objects from inside makeObjects. Now we're lucky because Objective-C gives us code and some classes and methods defined in our framework, so it will sort it for us. And I've added the code to our makeObjects such that when this array is initialized, it's going to be sorted so that the newest items are up on top. So now that they're sorted, what we want to do is make sure that anytime we add a new grocery item to our list, that table is reloaded and resorted. So we want to write a method that's going to handle the event view will appear. So we just void for our return type. View will appear. And we need to write the code that's going to make sure that table view will reload with our fresh data, new items on our grocery list. So the first thing we want to do is call in our superclass view will appear and pass in animated. We then want to pass in make objects. We want to add a line that's going to reload our data. And then we're going to head down to insert new object. There we are. And we're going to add to this guy. Now there's one last thing that we want to do before we test this out. We want to go over to grocerydata.h, and what we want to do is change show grocery detail to just show detail. Once you do that, be sure and save it. And then test out your app to make sure everything works the way that you expect it to. So now we should be able to add an item to the list, reference the item, go back, and it shows up in the list in the order that we entered it. Add another item, go back, and again we can see.